Hello, all. Happy 4th of July weekend. Welcome back to the War Report. Of always, I'm your host, Murjani, and I'm joined by Cyrus. We hope you're staying safe. We hope that you're keeping the fireworks down to a minimum. I know they're going crazy up northeast. And of course, always, this is a wrestling show, so hopefully you're watching wrestling on Wednesday nights. So, how's everybody doing?
The thing about the thing about the fireworks. I heard it's going crazy up north, and then I was just like, I'm not really hearing any fireworks here. And then all earlier today, or just before we started recording, people just started going stupid with it, and I was just like, well, I guess it's sort of an appropriate time, but come on, guys, let's let's stop it.
Well, I just did some sort of X-Men thing. Present me just jinxed past you, and now you hear the fireworks. I think that New Jersey, one of the worst things ever to legalize fireworks. I think near my Wegmans or a Target, there's a big-ass fireworks stand, and people have been buying the bulk, and they've just been lighting them up like it's Independence, like the start of Independence Day. Or the Revolutionary War or some shit. It's just...
Well, now it's sort of appropriate because it is going to be 4th of July, but apparently it's been happening out there for months. And I was just like, oh, okay, you guys, y'all got it rough.
Well, I got to figure, people are bored. It's summer. You can't really go out yet. There's places that you can go. Yeah, now, New Jersey, you go to the mall.
But what's so fun about fireworks?
Well, people are just, I get it. People are bored. People just want to do stuff. You've been cooped up in the house for months. I'm not,
it's happening right now.
Go ahead and just, light off fireworks because, particularly in my development, somebody lit off fireworks. They must have, let off two things. Next thing you know, two cop cars come around. They were on that. It's like they knew. They were on some Minority Report stuff, and it was just all right, the fireworks are going to be here, and let's show up here. So particularly in my neighborhood, unless it's really really late and they try to catch people slipping, it's fireworks would be to a minimum. I can't say the same in New York though. New York, it seems like it's been damn Star Spangled Banner since June.
And when I went to California last year, around the same time as 4th of July, they must have got it real nice because I believe fireworks are illegal over there. Or just the type of fireworks are down to a minimum due to forest fires and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, that's interesting. But is there any news wrestling wise?
Yes, we are going to jump in the trenches before we get into the first night of FyterFest and the first night of the Great American Bash. There is one particular news item not highlighted. So on Twitter last night, with a ton of stuff that happened, of course, on the shows, EC3 cut a promo on Twitter. It's this new gimmick that he has.
News?
Well, what's news is that he finished the promo and then he showed the AEW sign. Now, a month before that, he teased that he was going to Impact, so it could be a swerve. He could try to be keeping people on their toes. Either he goes to AEW or Impact. I think he goes to Impact. But what do you think?
Put him on Impact because I don't watch Impact.
Okay. That's pretty much cut and dry. Why Impact and not AEW?
Because I watch AEW.
No love for EC3.
Absolutely not. I just know I have been loud and clear how I feel about ex-WWE guys coming to AEW and kind of I don't want to say how would I put it? Just like stunting a lot of growth of like people that have come into AEW, and and I just feel like what they're gonna do with EC3 is gonna be, oh Lord, WWE dropped the ball. Now AEW is gonna show us what he's all about. He's gonna be in a title match. He's gonna lose, and then he's gonna be in obscurity for the rest of his career. And it's just like, way to go. And then we have to deal with like months of the bullshit about like EC3 is actually really good more often than we already do.
Okay, I'll go to your point, and I'll kind of put some notes that I've written down. So Impact, they obviously lost two people, given the status of what's happened with speaking out and basically going AWOL. So they lost Tessa Blanchard as their champion, and they lost Michael Elgin. Apparently, there's more allegations out to him, so Impact cut him. So they got Anderson and Gallows with an option to go to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Presumably, they're going to get Eric Young, Rusev, and Slater. I'm not sure about that, but we're going to have to see in Slammiversary. So even with everything that they got, there's still holes in their main event picture. That's where EC3 kind of cut his teeth there. That's where he became like the main event guy. AEW, Matt Hardy, FTR, Lance Archer, Brody Lee, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage. Now, if we've spoken on the show ad nauseum, it feels like, about AEW basically being crowded at this point. So if you add an AC3 there, where does he even go? You have to start making do already with AEW Dark and kind of turning that into another show to get everybody on the damn program.
Yeah.
So it makes sense to me.
They're going to have that third show eventually.
Yeah, well, for the time being, because given the pandemic and, with ratings and everything like that and not having fans, don't know if you really want to do a third show right now. I think I would probably put that off to 2021. So if I'm AC3, I mean, I'm trying to make noise for myself. Don't know if I really go to AEW right now. It looks like it's just a full deck of cards there. Impact I would probably go to because you would instantly go into the title picture. People are already, familiar with you there. You go with this new gimmick. Impact is looking to also spend a lot of money, apparently, for what I hear. So it makes sense that he would go back there.
Yeah. Just go back to Impact, and like just more is just like, okay, like where do you put EC3, because EC3 and MJF are basically the same person. So it's just like, what do you do with that?
Yeah, you can't have EC3 and MJF kind of pair up because you already have Wardlow there. Even though we will get to FyterFest in a minute about that tease a possible breakup, but if you start to look towards the breakup MJF and Wardlow, you don't want to necessarily pair a quote unquote like hot free agent signing with somebody else who already is the future there. So I think that's a no-brainer. You got to go, if you want to make a big splash for Slammiversary, EC3's got to go to Impact. I would think, AEW, it seems like, they're acquiring draft picks. They're doing their Boston Celtics impersonation. Acquiring draft picks, not really making any moves with them.
But EC3 goes to Impact and he shows up at Slammiversary, and let's say Rusev, Slater, and Gallows and Anderson all show up there. Like, I don't think they should all debut them at the same time, but let's say they do at Slammiversary. EC3 is like with the quickness getting overshadowed by Rusev showing up. So it's just like where does this man truly fit?
I just think that Impact is just in free agent signing mode. Whatever big names that we could get to get eyes on our product, that's where we're going to go. I think that's why Anderson and Gallows there, other for the money. They could do the flexibility to go back to New Japan Pro Wrestling and do their stunt there. Maybe Impact is looking back to trying to repair that relationship, because everybody knows that relationship soured because they had Okada coming over here and jobbing. That's why he doesn't like coming over to the US that much. So maybe other Cyrus, who works for Impact, is trying to repair that relationship there. Of course, there's that rumor, because you saw Anderson and Gallows and the Young Bucks take a picture, and maybe Impact and AEW are working together. I don't think so, but maybe that's something that's going to happen down the line. I don't think that. I think Eric Young going back is a given. I think Slater probably going there is a given. Rusev, I'm not sure. Rusev, maybe, but I would think that Rusev would want to go, somewhere to work. If I'm New Japan and I really want to make a splash in my West Coast dojo, that's who I would sign. I would sign a Rusev, because Rusev could work that hard style that they do over there. So Impact, I don't know. Like, it'd be like, all right, well, you add Rusev, who can talk, he can work. Then you add EC3, a new character. It would just kind of, like you just said, cancel each other out. So I would probably go EC. I would, out of the two here, because ROH is not a option right now. TNA is not an option right now. They are not running shows. If I'm going the two, I would have to go with Impact, because EC3 is already known there. Like, and AEW, like, he would be like, there would be nowhere to fit him on the card.
Yeah. Good luck. I cannot wait to see EC3 is going to show us what he's truly about on a random Tuesday, and then everybody freak out about it.
All right, everybody, let's get into FyterFest.
A night fight for the fallen. Part 1 has been, gentlemen.
And look who's behind the wheel. That's Trent's mom, Sue. She's trimming the Challenger.
Have fun.
Have fun. If they
Becky! Come here. I need a kiss. Good luck. Love you.
Night 1. You know what? I'm going to skip ahead here, and I'm going to talk about that Taz promo. Because I will say, when I initially heard it, I thought it was great. I was like, people were like, they're taking shots. You know what? At this point, I love that NXT was petty and did the Great American Bash to go against FyterFest. I loved it. I love that Taz, basically, he says that he talked with Tony. Mox tested twice for the coronavirus. He said that, he tested negative, so obviously he's scared of Brian Cage. And the quote here is that AEW does not run a sloppy shop. Now, if you go from the Observer, they said that a lot of people were upset about Taz saying that. Then and like I said, I was cool with it. I liked it. Then there was a report that recently came out that AEW is welcoming fans that go on the upper deck. That they said that they don't interact with any of the talent or any of the personnel, but they said they are not testing them. So it's like, cool, you said this. We don't run a sloppy shop. At the same time, we had this come out. So it's like egg on your face.
Yeah, every time AEW sends shots at WWE, it always ends poorly in their favor. And I think, nobody's really sending shots over to AEW on NXT. And really, they're just treating them like normal competition by, quote-unquote, counter-programming. But, they treat them like competition. They said that. They got egg on their face. And then you have to remember, hey, they're not testing those people that are on the upper deck. And then last week, they literally had Jericho and Orange Cassidy fighting all the way with those people that aren't being tested.
Well, are we sure that... Is it just this week that it's the upper deck with the fans? Because it could just be the personnel that was there. Now, if that is a thing, then that's a problem, because justifiably so, took WWE to task about not testing, because Renee got sick, Kayla Braxton got sick twice. They were not tested allegedly or through reports. There were over 30 people that tested positive for the coronavirus. If you look at the numbers in Florida, they are doing pinball numbers by the day with daily cases. I know you're in Florida, so like, please be safe. But I think I think 10,000 cases on Thursday. That is insane. But at the same time, you can't make comments like this, and then it come out that you're just doing temperature checks for fans that are on the upper deck with corona. I know they're saying they're not interacting with personnel, but at the same time, sloppy shop. We all know that temperature checks are not effective in testing for the damn coronavirus. So good promo, but it's funny that like as soon as they do something like that, here we go.
Every
like,
time.
Something to like counteract it. Thought that was
every time. It happens every time. Just stop doing it.
Thought that was funny. So Hikaru Shida and Penelope Ford, I was actually looking forward to this because I wanted to see how Shida and Ford worked. I wanted to see how Penelope worked in a big-time match. For the first part of it, it was fine. I think it was Penelope's best match to a point, but there was kind of specific spots that I pointed out. Okay, so commentary says that nobody kicks out of the Fountain Arrow when before that Penelope does a roll up out of the Fountain Arrow. And then from there, it's something weird happened with the roll up where there's a 2 count and then Hikaru is arguing with the ref about it being 2, but Penelope was the one doing the pin. So there was wires crossed there. Then there was interference with Kip Sabian with the kendo stick. And it seemed like Hikaru was kind of a sit and duck for Penelope to argue with the ref about the belt and then her hitting the cutter. They did try to make Penelope look strong because she did take 2 Falcon Arrows and then took the knee. Like I said, fine match overall. Those are kind of like some minor quibbles there. It did look like towards the end, like both the ladies kind of like were working in half gear at some points. But if they were going to where Hikaru goes next, if they wanted to run this back for Fight for the Fallen, I think it'd be fine.
Okay. That sounds like a train wreck. Would you recommend that I go and watch the match?
I mean, I would, just for the sake of the show. But, you know what I mean? But I just think that they need more time together because it just didn't seem like there were spots in the match that were good. Like, it was fluid. Like, there was, like, the whole, like, knee where, like, Penelope Ford does, like, the crab wall thing and she goes into the cutter. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. But it just seemed like it was just kind of sloppy match planning to an extent. And I just think they need to run it back and, like, maybe nail it down better and kind of cut the match down in length. That's another criticism that I have with FyterFest Night 1. Some of these matches ran way too long. And I know that they were trying to cut into time, obviously. But it seems like if they cut matches down 2-3 minutes, then they would be terrific matches. And they just went way... It was just like, all right, cool, here we go. Like, way too long. And then, like, the announcers would say, like, hey, well, this has a 20-minute time limit. I'm like, I could tell. I'm looking at my watch right now.
I would agree with that sentiment because the match that I watched from FyterFest, I wasn't really interested in this night 1 card at all. I watched Hangman and Hangman Omega versus the Best Friends, and Jesus Christ, that match could have been a lot shorter, honestly. And it just seemed like that match to me just seemed like it's kind of just like a placeholder before, stuff kind of arises with the revival.
Yeah, I mean, with the Best Friends, they were on this tremendous winning streak going against Page and Omega. Well, Page and Omega matches, either they open the show or they close the show with their tag matches. These are going to be 20-minute tag matches. It's going to usually have Page go on his rally, somebody come from behind, Omega come on his rally, and then there's going to a big kerfluffle, basically, until, Page and Omega get the win.
Yeah, I just don't think, I don't think the best friends are particularly interesting or good in the ring. And if Orange Cassidy isn't really there with them, then it's just like, oh, it's really nothing really going on with them too.
Let's talk about that post-match angle. So, you had FTR come down. They were congratulating Page and Omega. They give them beer. Omega doesn't drink any alcohol, so he pours it out. FTR has an issue. Bucks come down. They do a pull apart. But interesting enough, Page is on the side of FTR. So he's arguing at Kenny Omega. Everybody thinks that Omega was big tripping. But if you look at all the other angles, like even in the Stadium Stampede match, this man drank milk. Well, you know what I mean? Like, doesn't drink alcohol. So now you have FTR, and you're teasing Omega and Page to break up again, and then you have the Bucks in the middle. So right here, you can have maybe FTR and Page down the road versus Omega and the Bucks.
I think that would be really interesting, but I'm just like, please don't let this feud start because Kenny Omega is straight edge. Let's not do that. Like, I know I talked about no team really expressing championship aspirations before, and it's just like, I think this is a very weird way to like kind of get them into the title. Just have the Revival show interest. Like, I think them just being in the crowd was interesting enough. The amount of times that the camera panned to them to see their reaction, didn't really care for that. But like, I just think them being in the crowd watching this match up close is more interesting than, oh, you don't want to drink a beer, bro? Like, come on now.
I got you, because Page loves beer and that's what he does, and of course Omega's turning it down. Maybe he wants to keep the competitive fire and doesn't want to be friends with anybody. Cool. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Page and Omega and how they're going to break them up. Who are they going to drop the titles to? Because like you said, AEW load of tag teams, like a lot of tag teams.
It has to be the Revival.
Well, I agree there. It has. If you want to keep them as like the hot free agent talent, it's got to be against the Revival, and your money match is going to be Revival and the Bucks for that tag team championship at All Out. Whether it takes place in front of fans or it doesn't, I'm going to put my money that it doesn't. But we'll see when we get to September. I mean, I think Page and Omega, they had momentum. They were hindered by the pandemic and Page not being there for a while. I'm cool with them having the tag titles for, the time being. But it's time for the other tag teams to have something to fight for. So I think maybe for Fight for the Fallen, you start planting no seeds for them to lose and split, and eventually have a singles match against each other. Yeah. So you can let FTR and Bucks have some stakes, or FTR against X team.
I think we've said this before, but like without the Revival being in it, where we originally thought these guys are gonna break up relatively soon, and then we'll eventually get the singles match. Probably COVID, mess with some things, so they're probably holding the tag team titles longer than they probably wanted to. But I think dropping it to the Revival is smart, and then we can get the match with the Bucks.
Cody versus Jake Hager. This was the Codyest of the Cody matches ever. It was two
Hey,
big
man, you
guys
can't.
who were doing two big guy matches, or big guy moves, I would say. Like I said, it was a Cody match. He's fighting from behind. Arn Anderson gets choked by Jake Hager. His wife steps on Cody. That was kind of funny. But what stood out to me was the finish here. Dustin gets involved. There's an Arn Anderson distraction before that. And even then,
Oh Lord.
Jake does the Uranagi, and he gets the triangle, but Cody does a cover, and then Jake thinks that he wins, but Cody gets the win in the pin in heelish fashion. So, when Hager attacks the ref, and now he's fined and suspended kayfabe, you kind of feel for Jake Hager, the heel, because he got screwed. It's like...
I'm glad I didn't waste my Wednesday night or my Thursday afternoon watching that. Gee, that sounds like a train wreck, man. Does Jake Hager have like a Bellator fight soon? That's why they like suspended him, or is this is for a possible rematch?
I think that this is basically protecting him for the way that the match ended, where like he thought that he won because he had Cody in the triangle in the chokehold, but Cody does like this whole cover where the ref doesn't see it, and he does the 1, 2, 3. I think that this is basically protecting him, so maybe they could run this back eventually. But Cody is slowly turning heel here because there's a hell of a lot of interference. You had one from Dustin. I know that Dustin and Hager had some history
Beef before, yeah.
but like the Arn distraction and Dustin together in order for Cody to get the win, like Cody is
and then we sort of saw like Arn Anderson like running a distraction or just like, you know, being heelish in the match against Lance Archer, but like nah, the shit's weird, man. And is this not like have you been watching Raw recently?
a little bit.
Is this not the same sort of like story with Apollo Crews also having an open championship stuff and then having to cheat to get the win as well? Like,
Kind of, yeah, there are parallels there. I just don't think that but like Apollo Crews doesn't have two people helping him. Like, it's just like
yeah.
all of a sudden, like I'm feeling bad for Hager. I'm like, yo, like he listen, he had insurmountable. He's going against insurmountable odds here, and then the ref doesn't see that he has to, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm like Hager's in the right, even though he attacked the ref. I'm like, okay, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I say if they do the match again, like have the same ref, just so you know, there's a little more story going into it. But like, I guess I'll just watch the YouTube version because oh yikes, I can't handle a full Cody match, man. Especially with like the distractions, that shit's gonna kill me.
man, it was something. Just to round this out, we had an MJF Wardlow breakup tease against Jurassic Express. Wardlow and Luchasaurus are two athletic big men. Like I would love to see both of them get some singles shine here, and maybe that's what they're doing with MJF and Wardlow breaking up and kind of like having some dissension there.
It seems like they just got started.
Now they've been together for a while. It feels.
Well, this is like Warlow's like fourth match, and then MJF was on hiatus for a little bit because of an injury, and then it's only been months, but like there's been like time off taken there, and then Warlow standing around for most of it. So I feel like it's too soon, but hey, man, Warlow's cool, so
Could just be
let's get him away from MJF.
Could just be a slow tease. Before we move on to NXT, of course, next week we got FyterFest Night 2. That card is looking like Kenny Omega and Hangman Page versus Private Party for the AEW Tag Titles. Chris Jericho versus freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. FTR and the Young Bucks versus Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, Butcher and the Blade, Lance Archer versus Joey Janela, Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, and Stu Grayson versus SCU, and also Nyla Rose is in action. So, full card.
Yeah, that is a full card, but like, why is Private Party getting a championship opportunity?
Well, Private Party was also on the show. They did fight Santana Ortiz match.
No, jeez, yeah, so they won, right?
They did win. Of course, they have Matt Hardy mentoring them. Match a little sloppy in the beginning. You could see, they need more time in the ring, basically. They need more time to gel with these tag teams. Private Party, Santana Ortiz, like their stock since coming to AEW, like that. I know we talk about this every week. It is just, you know what I mean?
Hey man, I think it's funny that you say that like Private Party definitely needs more time to like kind of de-rust. It's been a month now, and I'm starting to give up. But now they're going to get a title shot, so hopefully Hangman and Kenny hopefully they gel well with them, because I'm really starting to lose hope for them.
Let's talk about the Great American Bash.
Not many people can say that they've had a better year than Keith Lee, except for me. Had I not spearheaded that movement, nobody would be talking about Keith Lee. Keith Lee on SmackDown does not happen without Adam Cole defending against Daniel Bryan. Keith Lee on Raw does not happen without Adam Cole defending against Seth Rollins. Survivor Series, you name it, I'm the one who led the charge. I'm the one responsible for any sort of success. And I will prove 1 week from tonight, with the NXT Championship in one hand and the NXT North American Championship in the other, that I am the greatest champion in this brand's history.
Rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes. I will say that let's start with the number one contenders match. You got Candice, you got Dakota, you got Mia Tegan. So Candice gets eliminated first. I think we all saw that coming.
Shit, like it just goes back to my point last week. They probably shouldn't even be in the match if they were just gonna like do this. Like I feel like it could have just been Tegan and Dakota, man.
Mia Yim, there was a little weird spot where Mia hit a move on Tegan. Tegan rolls out. It looks like Mia was kind of a sitting duck, like wondering what was going on, and then all of a sudden Dakota goes for the roll up. That was a little weird, but she was out second. Candice and Mia will continue their feud next week. They got a street fight. Then Dakota and Tegan, of course, they fight forever there. Of course, they have, that long-standing feud. And Tegan is your number one contender. She's going to go against Io. I'm excited for this match because I've been Team Tegan Knox for a long time. I didn't think that they were going to do it this soon, but hey, let's bring it on.
I've made it clear, like, they probably should have just gave Dakota Kai the match. Tegan win here. I'm just like, all right, guys, like, yeah, like, y'all kind of killing me, but like, hopefully Dakota gets her, hopefully Dakota Kai gets her title match soon, because like now what is she going to be doing?
What you can have happen, I mean, it would kind of be like, it would be baffling if you had Dakota like interfere against Tegan and Io, and then in NXT fashion have a triple threat. I think that Dakota needs her own match with Io, because Io has clearly turned babyface. She's red hot babyface. So I think Tegan and Io is going to be a one-off. I think Io is obviously going to win there, and then Tegan, she's ready. Sayonara to Raw or SmackDown, because Lord knows they need more talent up there.
Yeah, I like what. Don't get it twisted. I am Team Tegan, but I'm just like now. I hope this will be like a send off for her to go to get called up, because for a while now she's kind of just been like the matches have been good, but it's kind of just been like in obscurity. And then like we had that one like sort of month period where she was just like having sprints just to be on the show. But yeah, I'm excited to see the match, and I hope Dakota Kai still has like something to do, because I don't know what she's gonna be doing. Like, wow.
I think that
because like, is Rhea gonna be free?
Well, we'll talk about Rhea right after this, but I think that Dakota will probably be your SummerSlam program. I think you get the Tegan thing out of the way, have her move on, because you got to figure. Yeah, Shotzi Blackheart, she wasn't on the show. You got
she hasn't been on the show for like 3 weeks now.
You got Mercedes Martinez, who is coming back next week. She's gonna be something big. You got Raquel, and like with Raw missing Charlotte and Becky, they need somebody. They definitely need someone. Or Bayley can have a dance partner on SmackDown, even though there's a lot of women wrestlers there. So move Tegan and then have Dakota be the resident feud for EO going into SummerSlam.
Well, we'll see how everything shakes out after the second night of Great American Bash.
The baffling booking of Rhea Ripley continues. I get that they're doing. I get that they're doing something. They have to do something with them, and they're in turn doing Rhea Ripley. They're giving Robert.
They do
Stone,
not. That's where you got it twisted. They do not have to do anything with Aaliyah.
Hold on, I didn't say Aaliyah. Now that's giving Robert Stone and Aaliyah something to do. After this match and her doing the double submission, I don't want to see them fight again. Like this is the ultimate humiliation of them getting beat by Rhea in that fashion. But what are they doing with Rhea? Like, is Rhea going to challenge EO again? Because I thought that was going to be the go-to, but now if Tegan's doing it, you could also do. I guess you could do T and Rhea because there's unfinished business there. Because of knee injuries, but that's so far off that might be out of people's mind. Rhea is another name who can potentially go to Raw or SmackDown, because but at the same time, like we say, go Raw or SmackDown, and I just thought of like Raw has Shayna Baszler, Raw has Bianca Belair, and they can't get on the show. So
yeah, and just listening to the A show, they seem to be doing right by Ruby Riott, so like she's back on the show. And I'm not moving Rhea Ripley while she's at her coldest. Honestly,
can't do can't do that.
I'm not rocking with this. Maybe she goes to Mercedes Martinez for Mercedes' first feud. But like right now, I ain't really trying to see Rhea Ripley right now. And then Chelsea Green is nowhere to be found, and that might be due to Charlotte, taking a break for whatever reason it might be. Crazy.
So Chelsea Green presumably is not going to be back until Charlotte says. And
God knows when.
That she said that she's coming back. Not even before Survivor Series. So Chelsea Green is taking a nice vacation for that long period of time if she's waiting for Charlotte. That's kind of crazy to me. I mean, if you wanted to pair Robert Stone back with Chelsea Green to do something with Aaliyah and at least have them be a tag team, that would be cool. But like Chelsea Green is just kind of just chilling, playing Last of Us 2 or something.
What I would possibly do would be have Robert Stone crawl back on her feet, and then Chelsea Green says some mean things, and then Aaliyah be like, take it easy on him, and then they have a match, and that's a little that puts Chelsea Green back on the show. It might not be the best matches, but
Oof. I mean, I know they've been having some Twitter interactions, but boy, that's gonna be rough. They got to heat up Rhea back up somehow, though. Before I think Mercedes Martinez will.
help out a lot with that.
Because Rhea was the big deal going into War Games and Survivor Series. Like they said, they had that big, when she won the title, everybody cheered. That's when we had fans and we can actually be next to each other. Everybody came to the ring. She dethroned Shayna Baszler, and now it's just like, okay, she's fighting the Robert Stone brand. Gotta heat her up before you start doing. Only Lorcan.
Okay, so
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. What? Just in a different universe, let's say Rhea Ripley loses and she joins the Robert Stone brand. Where do they go from there? Because I definitely think that probably would have been like something kind of interesting, since Rhea Ripley's not really like the super badass right now. So I think her being part of the Robert Stone brand could have been like cool, fun.
Okay, so in the multiverse, if we're talking about this, if Rhea were to join the Robert Stone brand, I'm thinking heel Rhea was actually pretty cool in NXT UK. And then her coming over. She was a badass, beating up Tony Storm for a little bit there. Damn, that's another person that I kind of miss not seeing. Tony Storm like wrestling because she's overseas and whatever the hell is going on with NXT UK. Hopefully we find out soon. But in another universe, if you really want to give legitimacy to the Robert Stone brand, I mean, I think it'd be funny. It'd be like one of those like 1980s, 1990s partnerships where you have somebody like Harley Whippleman, those type of managers, like these puny little managers, and then have Rhea, and going against Rhea Ripley, somebody who can obviously beat him. I mean, if you really want to invest in Robert Stone, then go ahead and do it. I just don't know if that he just might be a comedy act in NXT.
I feel like they could have had like a comedy act that like actually gets some wins, or just like a fun act. But well, back to obscurity. Both of them go, unless Robert Stone actually goes up to Mercedes Martinez instead of Rhea Ripley, and then Rhea Ripley's doing nothing.
That could be his thing, continually begging women's wrestlers on the roster to be a part of the Robert Stone brand until they all turn him down. Well, Leah, I mean, she said yes, so at least he's got that, I guess. Going Oni Lorcan and Tim Thatcher. This was a match that was completely different of anything on the card. Different pace, technical wrestling. Lorcan was the perfect dance partner for Tim Thatcher. I'm excited to see Tim going against like major guys like a Karrion Kross or a Keith Lee. Like I'm thinking like all these match combinations. I'm really liking Tim Thatcher. What do you think?
I love Tim Thatcher. I love the catch point wrestling style. I think is very interesting. Seeing kind of like joint manipulation or just like the movement in the ring being very grounded. It's very interesting to me. And Oni Lorcan is the best partner for that. I don't want to compare it to the Matt Riddle match, but like. It's just as good. This is like really good stuff, man. I'm excited to see Tim Thatcher go like progressively higher up on the card and see like what kind of matches we get. Like you say, Karrion Kross, but then there's also like great probably he's not like a catch point wrestler, but like we still have amazing technical wrestlers like Roderick Strong, and then Kushida too. Kyle O'Reilly is coming back, which is interesting. So, we could probably get some Undisputed Era stuff going on, maybe. But then there's also, like, Dexter Lumis is around, so Tim Thatcher could go after him. Balor, Johnny. Like, I'm excited. I have a lot of like, dream matches for Timothy Thatcher. I think he's amazing.
Tim Thatcher, hell of a pickup for NXT. Looking forward to see what he does next. Before we get to the creme of la creme, a match that I think that is in one of my best matches of 2020 so far, I wanted to get to a couple more items. The Dexter Lumis Roderick Strong strap match. I think it played definitely. I want to say it played definitely great into the storyline because at first you had Dexter Lumis. Basically, like there's no way for Roddy to go. Like they're tethered together, basically.
Yeah.
So, like Dexter's stalking him, and then it has Roderick Strong kind of overcome and do his flurry. But the right guy won here. Dexter Lumis won. So
Absolutely.
Lumis 5 all day.
Yeah, really good to see Lumis get a definitive win here. Dream is absent due to recovery, and then people don't really want to see him on the show anyway. So I guess it really works in Dexter Lumis's favor right now, and I'm curious to see where he goes next. Hopefully, he kind of like strays away from beefing with the Undisputed Era and hopefully like towards championships. And next week we get our double champion. So
big fight field.
Hopefully we're gonna see something interesting next week, like regardless of the result.
Wink, wink. So future storylines I was getting set up.
I didn't.
Isaiah Swerve Scott versus Johnny Gargano. A match that
Great,
I didn't know
perfect.
I needed, but I needed.
When Gallagher got released, I was just like, oh snap, what is like Swerve gonna do now? And they found a perfect replacement, and yeah, I need it. I think this match is gonna be really great. When that happens next week, right? Or like later, or is it not booked at all yet?
That's not booked at all yet, but like that's been teased. I
feel like it's gonna happen next week.
I think that go ahead and throw that on next week. If
Yeah.
AEW is throwing like 18 matches on FyterFest, go ahead and counter program and throw that on next week.
Yeah.
That's what I pictured Gargano doing. If you're going to keep him around and he's not winning titles right now, have him go against your best talent. So, like Isaiah Swerve Scott, that's going to be a phenomenal match. Cameron Grimes versus Damian Priest. Cameron Grimes is taken away from Slash the Tires, but he's said something interesting. He said that when he beats Damian Priest, he's going to face the winner of Adam Cole or Keith Lee. So, presumably, this is going to be a number one contendership match.
I don't know who wins that championship match, but I'm not trying to see Cameron Grimes versus Keith Lee again, honestly.
And so you don't want to see Cameron Grimes fight against Cole or Lee.
I don't want to see him fight Keith Lee, and I don't want to see Damian Priest fight Keith Lee. My problem with a lot of the Keith Lee stuff is that he keeps fighting with the same competitors, and now they're going to go back to that well. Like, come on, guys. We like one step forward by making him number one contender and possibly being double champion, and then like 2 steps back with like giving him 2 opponents that he's already like demolished.
Well, if Cole wins, you got him against Grimes. It might be a little fresh. Do believe Priest and Cole have fought each other before. So, like, that would be a rematch. So, I mean, you got 2 matches. You got 4 possible matches here, but, like, some, 3 of them that we've seen before.
Yeah. And yeah, like it's gonna have like a big fight feel because it's for a title, or just like, it feels different for a title, but like so did all the Keith Lee matches.
So man, you got I'm just gonna point out there, got Karrion Kross hovering around in the background. So it's possible that Grimes and Priest doesn't even have a finish. They could both get beat up by Karrion Kross.
Yeah, honestly, I would prefer that because, come on, man, I'm not like I don't hate those matches. I think they're great, but to see them again after like such a short period of time, I kind of don't want to see it again. And I do like what they're doing with Cameron Grimes by making him like a total asshole and a dickhead.
Yeah. But
like, nah, I'm not trying to see it.
to round out this episode, I think it's only fitting to talk about the phenomenal Io Shirai and Sasha Banks match. Let me go
The
ahead.
draw.
Let me
Sasha
go,
Banks.
Yes, the draw, because like if you look at ratings, she definitely was a draw. But let me just say, for the record, this Bayley Sasha storyline has done wonders for Sasha. Sasha is working at an all-time high. She, you know what I mean? She's done this in the past. Seemed like before, like maybe last year and stuff. You know, going with the documentary, she was going through the motions again. She has definitely gained her shine. She bumped the hell out of for Io in this match. Io took bumps for her. This match, I thought it's just absolutely phenomenal.
Fantastic main event, and I'm glad it's the main event, and I'm glad they got time. I saw people saying that they wanted them to go 30 minutes. That's not needed. But like, nah, this match was heat, man. I love the chemistry that they had. This is like kind of like the first time they ever locked up, and it worked really well. I love the finish as well. The finish was very interesting, and it played a lot into the Raw feud that's gonna happen. So I like everything coming together.
Made perfect sense. You got Asuka coming doing the green mist that ties into Extreme Rules this weekend because Asuka and Sasha are fighting for that Raw tag title. I mean, personally, just as a deep cut, I would have loved that if Kari would have came down and did the save. I understand why she couldn't. So Asuka, for storyline purposes, fit perfectly here. Bayley, always a treat. She's hilarious, like trying to like laughing and beeping the car horn. Right finish here. Io gets the win. It still makes Sasha look strong because of the interference. This is what you do. This is why NXT and WWE they could flex and pull out these matches anytime they want. They could do an Asuka, they could do a Bayley, versus a Tegan or somebody like that. Like, this is why you have the roster that you have, and I guess the luxury of everybody being together, and you could pull these matches out of a hat. You could have like a Great American Bash, and it's just being, you know what, we're gonna do Sasha and Io tonight. That's crazy. Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, since they're all just in the same place, hurry up and do the chopping or Randy Orton thing. But like NXT, the women on NXT, they really like carry the brand. Not like the men are doing like anything poor, but like the women's matches are like insanely like amazing stuff, and it shows, man. People love it.
How many times that we've talked? This is episode 39. That's crazy. Like, we sing the praises of the women. Like, they are this year. I would say like NXT,
the best part of NXT,
all time high. Like, I mean, like of course you have like I said, the 10 Thatchers and the Finn Balor's and Keith Lee, amazing, Adam Cole, but like as a whole, as a division, like the men's division in NXT is starting to get settled. Like, I love how NXT is starting to get into a groove, and then you have all these multiple storylines working together. I feel like if I had to go with what was the better night one, it's got to be Great American Bash, because everything seemed to fit. I had more questions on what was going on in FyterFest just because of some finishes that happened. Like, all right, what are we trying to set up? There's intrigue there, but at the same time, like, it just seems with Great American Bash, they had all their ducks in a row. So now I'm even more excited for next week.
Yeah, well, there was absolutely no question that, at least in my mind, that Great American Bash was going to blow FyterFest Night 1 out of the water. So it's going to be, I think it might be a 2-0 victory for counter programming.
So next week on night 2 of the Great American Bash, of course, you got Mercedes Martinez. Who's she going to face? We don't know. Maybe it's going to be Rhea Ripley. We'll see. Mia Yim and Candice LeRae in a street fight. Damian Priest and Cameron Grimes, presumably for the number one contendership. We don't know. Regal, help us out with that. El Legado del Fantasma is going against Drake Maverick and Breezango. And, of course, it's double champ time. Keith Lee, the North American champion, versus Adam Cole, the NXT champion. This one's for all the marbles. This one's for all the gold. Who do you, before we get out of here, last call, who do you have winning?
Predictions?
Predictions, yeah, for that match. You know what? Let's go. Okay, let's go. That match, the Mia Yim Candice match, and Damian Priest and Cameron Grimes.
Okay. The spoilers are out there. I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't. So
I haven't seen the.
Don't worry, guys. Okay, don't worry, people listening. But Mercedes Martinez, I'm going to predict is Rhea Ripley. For Candice LeRae and Mia Yim, let's go with Candice LeRae. Cameron Grimes versus Damian Priest, let's go with Cameron Grimes. Breezango versus just the 6-man tag. I'm going to go with Phantasma's group or Santana Escobar's group, and then Keith Lee.
Mercedes Martinez, I think they're going to give her a easy one off the bat. So I think Robert Stonebrand, come on down. So I think she's going to fight against Aaliyah and get a win there. Mia Yim and Candice LeRae. Let's get the Poison Pixie a win. So unfortunately, it seems like Mia is going to be on the losing end again. So Candice is going to win in that street fight. Damian Priest, Cameron Grimes. I think if you're going to go fresh, you got to go with Cameron Grimes here. El Legado del Fantasma versus Drake Maverick and Breezango. If you want to keep on pushing the heel faction, Santos Escobar, Mendoza, and Wilder are going to win. Keith Lee and Adam Cole. Hey, listen, it is time. I love Adam Cole. I love his reign in NXT. All-time reign. It's time for you to move on, brother. It's time for you to make that jump. SmackDown's a calling. It doesn't really matter what show you go on because Bruce is writing for both of them. So it's the era of Keith Lee, I think. It is time, if you want to make Keith Lee the guy, which he deserves. He's been MVP. If you want to make a case of male MVP in NXT, it's between him and Adam. And I think it's time to do it. So I'm going with Keith Lee. Champ.
Absolutely.
Shout out Conor McGregor.
I think, I really think that Keith Lee is really just the right decision here, man. Let's start either breaking up Undisputed Era or, shuffling them along.
Whoa. Let's not break up Undisputed Era. Let's move them along because I think that they could run roughshod like on SmackDown or something.
Roddy Strong just got his ass beat, so I don't know if he's running roughshod on anybody. But hopefully Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly could come back strong and hopefully, start shuffling stuff along, honestly.
All right, everybody, that is our show. We will be back next week talking about FyterFest Night 2 and Great American Bash Night 2. I don't know if NXT is going to do something else with Fight for the Fallen. They probably are going to do something. I'm just waiting for the announcement. It's going to come.
Ain't nothing that going to make me excited, bro.
Well, no, I'm just saying NXT is probably going to like pull something like, Starcade or something for that week.
Oh, just get their ass beat. No, that'd be green as shit. Maybe what is some other WCW shit they could put? World War 3 would be hard. Oh my god.
Do they have 60 people to put
I need
into?
it, bro.
First of all, I don't think that you want to do that. I don't think that you want to really do that in the time of COVID. You have 60 people in a battle royal.
Let's not do that. Well, wait, I'm on Wikipedia right now, and I'm looking at WCW pay-per-views. Halloween Havoc, of course, just do that on Halloween. Oh, yeah, Uncensored would be hard. Slamboree, Super Brawl. They have Fall Brawl, but, you can always just do Summer Brawl.
I don't think that you could do Road Wild or Hog Wild. They can't do that right now.
They can't do Bash at the Beach. AEW already took that one. But
beaches are closed. So what beach are you going to?
Yeah. Just bring the beach feel to them. And no, come on, man. And I just love that people are so upset that WWE is treating them like competition. It's so ridiculous.
It's just playful, man. It's just all in fun.
It's been the Wednesday Night Wars all this time, and now that they're treating each other like competition, it's just no, it's unfair. Come on, son. Do you know what war is?
I mean, this podcast is called The War Report. We are reporting on war. This would not.
And there's been zero casualties.
If they were complimenting each other, if this podcast would be a lie. We'd be lying to you. It'd be the courtesy report or something like that, or the polite report. No, this is War Report. We're at war, and next week we're gonna have Great American Bash Night 2 and FyterFest Night 2. Let's go. Let's get it on. Let's see who could do the best matches.
Mm-hmm. So, man, it would have been really cool. Just looking at these WCW pay-per-views, that era where Undisputed Era had all the belts. What if they did NXT Sold Out? That would have been hard. That would have been hard.
Don't know if you could do that now because it seems like they're at the tail end.
Yeah,
but that would have been.
But nah, that would have been heat.
See, this is why Paul should listen to the podcast, because we give ideas like this. We give booking like this every single week. So if you listen to us, Paul and HBK could have been you know what? These guys are right. Then when you had Undisputed Era Sold Out, I guess with the color yellow and black, and then them coming down and doing their promos and stuff, it would have been fun. Maybe they do that in SmackDown. Probably not. Bruce is booking, so I don't know if he's gonna do that. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited to see who's going to be the champ. As always, you can follow us at RNC Radio Live on Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcast. We have something for everybody. For myself and Cyrus, be safe this 4th of July weekend. Don't do anything stupid. Wear a mask. And we will talk to you guys next week.
What the? Oh my God, it's Asuka! Raw Women's Champion Asuka blowing the mist into Sasha Banks' face! Asuka's back in NXT, the roll-up by Io Shirai, and Banks kicks out! Oh my goodness! Asuka, what a showcase by Shirai!
Banks can't see!
But you're absolutely right, Banks can't see! The official never saw the Raw Women's Champion Asuka's involvement!
Oh, wrecking ball drop kick by Shirai to Bayley. Asuka, the former NXT Women's Champion, former tag team partner of Shirai's in Japan! And now Shirai with the moonsault, nailing Sasha Banks, blinded by the mist. Io Shirai secures